down for me? Okay. Is there any pain back here at all, or?
Always. It hurts to breathe.
I mean, I grew up with Super Nintendo and Genesis, for crying out loud. That was my...
Oh, yeah, you're old.
N64. There you go. Wow. You all right?
Yeah.
That was cool. Been through a lot. You had a surgery. You told me a little bit lumpectomy. How long ago was that?
2017.
And had you noticed anything before that? I mean, how long could you feel something, or where was it exactly?
I can show you, yeah.
Sure.
So they had the open, you can see the big
Yes.
open line.
Yes.
But there was nothing before that. I didn't have any symptoms. It was just like stomach aches and whatnot.
Okay.
But yeah, I went
Fine.
to the ER probably 4 times.
For the stomach?
They would send me home just like IBS, you know what I mean? He's eating
Right.
junk food. And then my mom was like, he needs to stay in. They can't control the pain. And then Carlos, a new ER tech, X-ray tech,
Yes.
took an X-ray a little too high and then found the tumor.
Did they give an explanation for what was causing the stomach pain, or did that resolve after you had the lumpectomy, or how did
No
that?
explanation, but it was hormonal,
Mm-hmm.
so I can only assume it was like draining
Kind of the
down.
stress of, or the internal, okay.
Right.
I know we briefly, I think, like I said, my theory on any type of lump in the body is we have these lymphatic tubes that are our sewer pipes in our body, and they drain by mobility. So, you said you're a gamer, and you've been a gamer for a while.
Always.
So, obviously, so when you're gaming, it's not, your chest doesn't need to be moving. You're pretty much, you're locked in a certain position. The sitting makes the lymphatics get clogged up. Your body, can't get something to drain, so it walls it off. And then it becomes cancerous. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying the mobility is what I'm going to check out in a second. I want to see how healthy your chest is. The joints are meant to move. And many times in life, we don't need them to move. And so they just forget how to move and they get frozen.
Right.
So you said in that surgery there was some long thoracic nerve damage. Go ahead.
Most definitely. Yeah, there was like a 9-hour, 10-hour surgery, and they didn't move my arm. It was up like this the whole time. It was supposed to adjust it. But after I came out, I couldn't move it at all. No movement at all.
Couldn't abduct your arm.
Yep. For about 3 months, it took me
Wow.
to be able to move full range.
Wow.
Did you do physical therapy?
Yeah.
No PT afterwards.
Really?
What was their plan, or just kind of just wing it? And
My mom was an OT at the time.
okay.
We would do some exercises and whatnot, but nothing serious.
Okay. And then I'm imagining the other stuff, the head, neck, and you have neck pain. Is that recent, or is that going back to when you had that, or?
I believe it's a subsidiary of it, yeah.
Okay. And then your hand goes tingly, the right, which part of your hand? Or?
If I sit a certain way or even try to stretch my arm, instant tingles, numbness.
Bringing your arm up makes that right arm
Yeah.
effect.
Did they cut the thoracic nerve? Is that what it was? Or
So they had to open my ribcage with the ribcage opener.
Right.
I believe it just killed it though.
Yeah, probably choked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blood flow to the area, gets, so the blood flow to the nerve gets affected, and so then the nerve doesn't nerves need constant, just like your brain needs constant circulation, so you kind of have a stroke to a nerve,
Yeah.
and so now the nerve doesn't. Now, again, peripheral nerves have some capacity for regeneration. The spinal cord and brain don't. Maybe if we stimulate it, I mean, it's not totally lost cause. It's possible we could, create stimulation. But again, it's tough. Let me look straight forward. Let me look at you. Okay, you're fine. Yeah, you just round it up in the upper back here. Like I said, with the gamer posture, heads forward. Let me look at your chest here a little bit. Even your arm sits a little differently. Like this arm's closer to your body. There's more gap here.
It's extremely noticeable from the back.
Go ahead and lift your arms up. And then put your arms back down for me. Okay. Is there any pain back here at all, or?
Always. It hurts to breathe.
Take a deep, like all kind of more lateral here or more central? Kind of more,
It's more behind.
the scapula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's more rib head. The joints all got probably torqued and damaged in here. I'm just looking at your back here. All right.
Can we see the wings, scapula wings? Is that what you said?
Can you wing your scapula or no? It's
I
not
mean,
really.
the way it sits, you can see that it's
Definitely
torqued out.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. A little more
Yeah, no, I can
posterior
see
here.
that, yeah.
Okay. You can put your shirt back on for me. I'm gonna have you lay on your back here for me. Every time you breathe, all these ribs have to pivot up and down.
Mhm.
And when we have an injury and trauma with that level of severity, it's highly likely that everything wants to be locked in there. So now it being locked and breathing are fighting with each other. Definitely the ribs being popped out make the scapula unable to retract. So you won't be able to bring your shoulder blade back because of this being rounded here.
Yeah.
The shoulder runs into things.
Yeah, it almost
So-
feels like a spring, like it won't.
You definitely can't get your shoulder in the right position with the posture of your thoracic cage. So adjustments don't change posture. The way we change posture is by making your spine limber, and then we're going to stretch.
Did the PT have an explanation for or a fix for your breathing, or?
Just building strength. But I
Yeah.
think, like you say, there's things that need to be cleaned out before I can build strength, and that's how I feel.
I don't. The pain that you're describing is not a muscular pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how strength building is gonna stabilize the area, which might not make it move as much, so you might not feel as much. But that's long term. I want you in the right posture with everything supple.
Mm-hmm.
Muscles aren't designed to constantly try to hold us together, even though they can. You can ask a muscle to stabilize you. I don't know if that's a great way to make it to 90.
Right.
I think a better way is correct the posture. The muscles will contract as needed, but not being depended on. All right, take one deep breath in, and then let your head back for me. 1 second. Lift up, sorry. A little more. Deep breath in. Head back for me. Let all the air out. There we go. Deep breath in. Head back. Let it go. Yeah, frozen there. Deep breath in. Here we go. Exhale. Real, real tight. It's
Mhm.
okay. We're gonna get that moving a lot better than that. But I got about maybe 4 or 5 bones to move in there. You got about 12 vertebrae that I tried to adjust. We're gonna get them moving. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and twist. Okay, other side for me. Other side. Breathe in deep. Exhale. Twist. Let's go face up for me. Never any numbness down your right arm. Or sorry, left arm.
No.
Nothing done left. Okay, it's just a. So you're definitely in left head tilt. Feel this big bump right here, sticking
Yeah.
out on the right side of your neck,
Yeah.
and there's almost nothing on the left side. When I tilt you to the left, like right here, now the head's level, the bones are level, but I had to tilt you to the right about 10 degrees, 15 degrees to make your bones level. Kind of when you were riding your bicycle as a kid and you crashed your bicycle and your handlebars and your tire no longer lined up together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're riding your bicycle with your handlebars crooked to make your tire straight. So what this does is having this bone sticking out on the right means that your head is in left head tilt to avoid this whole injury that happened on your right side. That's going to pinch eventually the left lower neck. There you go. Let me have your head. There you go. All right. How'd that feel? You okay?
Classic.
Piece of cake. Okay. I got your head. Chin up. All right, we'll get it. I'll get it. Wow, real tight over here. Let me see. There you go. All right. All right. It's not supposed to be there.
It's how my whole body feels.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's all, I don't know, crunchy. This is what I mean by lymphatic drainage. There's a lymph issue even here that there's a blockage up here that because the bone isn't aligned up properly, now the muscles are tighter. So it's like holding your arm out in front of you, right? Your muscles work harder with your arm out stretched in front of you, right? And because of the posture of your neck being in an avoidance posture, your muscles are working in a way they're not supposed to work. Your muscles shouldn't be tight up here. They are because the bones are misaligned. The answer isn't to try to strengthen the muscle more. The answer is to fix the alignment so the muscle doesn't have to be contracted. So muscles can give stability, but nowhere is it really written in an anatomy textbook that it's the job of a muscle to give stability. The joints, the discs, the ligaments the posture is what's supposed to give you stability. In a time of ligament injury, joint injury, muscles kind of jump into the game and act to stabilize. We call it a splint, a muscular splint. That's when a muscle tries to protect an area while it heals, but it's not the job of a muscle to be You know, does that make sense?
I didn't think it sounded right either.
It's not the job of muscle to give you stability. So my answer really ultimately to that is good luck with that. That you could somehow make a muscle strong enough, permanently enough, and then you know how much lactic acid and soreness is going to be in that muscle, having it work that hard, that long. Your posture is what's supposed to give you stability. Your ear is supposed to be over your shoulders. There shouldn't be a hunch in your upper back. That gives you stability. How do we change it, Ed? We have to first go through what I call soft tissue rehabilitation. We have to make your back malleable, make it flexible so that it can mold and conform to a stretch. And that's it. It's stretching that got us here. It's stretching that gets us out of here. And all that soreness in those joints in your upper back has to do with your posture. So the more rounded forward your rib cage is, the more inflamed those rib head joints are, and the ribs are loaded. There's 80-something joints in your chest, in your spine. You know, all those knuckles in there are going to be inflamed. There's 4 joints at every level in your thoracic cage and 12 vertebrae, so 48 joints in your chest. A lot of mouths to feed, a lot of joints that can be sprained and then hurt to move. There's not that lump over here.
Yeah, it's smooth.
But there's a problem right here in the right side of your neck. I usually name these. Feel that crunch? I mean, do you want to kind of crunches?
Yeah, it almost feels like a rock.
Yeah, there's rocks in here. And the left side's as smooth as an egg. And all right. If I'm going too hard, please let me know, okay? You okay?
I have a good pain
All
tolerance.
right,
Yeah.
I'll go deeper. I'm learning. When you tell me first adjustment, I usually try not to torment people on their first.
No.
Let me have it, okay?
I need the torment, yeah.
All right, fair enough. We'll go deeper.
Yes.
I just don't know how to. I usually have more time to warm people up to deep tissue care before we go crazy. All right. Get the idea what I want. I want your head really over here.
Yeah.
To overcorrect. We have to overcorrect that way. All right. There it is. All right, he's pretty tough.
After having that surgery, I imagine so.
A little deeper.
Yep. Do what you
I
need to
got you.
do.
All right, here we go. Let me get this moving for you. There you go. You all right?
Mhm.
Most people, Ed, you're hurting me too much. What are you, a monster? Farquaad?
Did you watch Shrek when you were?
Sorry.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay, I'll laugh with you. All right, yeah. See,
That's
I
really
found this crunchiness, and so yeah, that's a problem. Cause effect. The neck is the boss of the upper neck is the boss of the lower neck, which is the boss of the upper back, which controls the mobility, which goes to your side. And I don't think things happen for no reason. I think that we're set up for problems, but we're not
Right.
guided in prevention, and so we're just left with the questions of why did this happen to me, and maybe genetic, maybe whatever. I don't know if we're given clear answers. And lump on all of that. I mean, are you able to? I almost can hear it. That's just. All right. All right.
That's crazy. It's almost like spreading out into little. It hurts.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, it's bad, man. It's really bad.
I was gonna say, that's a pretty cool response to ouch, that hurt. That's crazy.
All right, so give me some more. Been mainly a PC gamer?
Always, yeah.
Always. Oh, yes. All those daggone console gamers. That's why.
No, I started with console.
Oh, of course we all do, and then we grow up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's those people that are in their
It's
20s.
been my addiction.
Okay. I mean, I grew up with Super
Pretty good
Nintendo and Genesis, for crying out loud. That was my
No, yeah, you're old.
N64. Playing Earthbound and Mario RPG.
Oh,
and,
man.
Oh, that's OG. It's not old. It's OG, baby.
Wait, how old are you?
22.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, so you're really young. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I pretty much quit when like the Xbox 360 came out. I was like, I'm done. Like the Xbox, like my last, I think I had a PS2 and an Xbox, my last consoles, and then I was like, I'm done with these consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Silly controllers. It's got 15 buttons on the controller. I got a freaking keyboard. How many buttons are on my keyboard? Anyway, and then World of Warcraft for too many years. And, oh, don't say it, Ed.
You play well?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, it's
It's
been
culture. That's the original culture.
It's been like 7 years since my last hit. It's like I can still quit. I mean, I was a 25-man raid group for years. I was a tank main. Oh my gosh. See you, babe. Got a raid.
Yeah.
Ed, can you change a diaper? No, babe, we're in the middle of loss. Can't you pause it? No.
Yep.
No, I can't. And there's 24 other people that are
Counting on you.
right. I mean, there's some, but it's not nearly as. It's not as bad as this right side. Oh man. So CS:GO, I said. I imagine, right?
CS:GO, mostly Valorant right now.
Okay. All right. You PUBG and all that?
No,
No, or whatever it is.
I usually just grind that one game.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm OG. I was CS 1.4 and 1.
1.6, 1.4.
Exactly, back in Half-Life years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to have parties in my garage. My friends bring their computers before we had like white, or broadband and
Mm-hmm.
StarCraft and CS, Quake.
Yeah, you're a real gamer. LAN parties.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
heck yeah. Dad had a big garage and we'd bring all our computers, hook them up. Mm-hmm. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. This is the peak of the slouch right here. That's why you're going to see me coming back to this spot. It's the most misaligned part, so you need the most bang for your buck. Spending time right here. Getting this down will start to straighten your posture. We call it coupled motion, so the head goes forward and then the chest goes backwards. So this is the peak of the backward motion of your chest. So this has to go forward in order to bring and retract your head. And the most posterior part is the most benefit working on the peak, and that's right there. See, to me, this was here way before this. Before this, this was already here. All the same blockade that I feel on the right side of your neck,
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying earlier, is right here. Look at all that kind of gristle. The lymphatics all drain from lateral to medial. I don't know why we don't have a lymphatic heart. It's one of those questions I have for our maker. Why didn't we put a little mini one? Not one that pumps every second, but once a minute. Gives a little pump. Mm-hmm. These are all rib heads right here. This is all rib, where the rib connects to the side of the vertebrae, called the transverse process. Is a joint between the rib and the transverse, and that's right there, right on the border of the scapula is where that joint is. And the joints are loaded with sensors, mainly for position, so they're called proprioceptors. They tell our brain where we are in space, so we don't fall over all the time. So our brain has an accurate kind of depiction of where we are. But when a joint's inflamed or not draining properly, it's going to build up with lactic acid. Then you move the joint, and then every time you take a deep breath in, it hurts. I'm going to keep going deeper and deeper until you kick me. Or try to kick me. I'm getting really good at dodging. Oh man, that is It's just congested as anything right there. This all, almost can hear that. It's all gotta get out of there. Just my elbow made a mark. My elbow's turning into a gua sha tool.
That's the spot.
Yeah.
His elbow actually made the Shaw mark. That's not, it doesn't normally happen.
There's a lot in there.
That means there's a lot.
It's terrible, yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Sorry, but rough living with that. He was laughing at the patient. He's such a sicko. Shouldn't laugh at the patient's problems. He's such a mean person. I can read the comments. There's 3 ways through life: laughing, crying, or complaining. So nobody's ever really rubbed your back like this, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. Rib position can only be changed through stretching. The purpose of all this is to make your spine supple so that we can even change it. When it's this rigid, you ain't gonna change it through stretching. It takes at least a couple hours of demo work to make it. It's like you can't install new cabinets until you rip the old cabinets out. Everything's gotta be demoed in order to make it possible and ready. Swipes. It's just a lot of buildup in there. Wow. Real fast. To me, the elbow is like a jackhammer, and this is like a broom.
Mhm.
Once you break up the rock into little pieces, then you can sweep. But to sweep in and of itself might not work if you don't have everything broken down. And every visit, you keep chipping away at the boulder, and then you can sweep away everything once it's all been dissolved and broken down. And you see the drain lines, all of this drains this way. All of this was blocked. It got walled off over here. The diameter of the lymphatic tubes, so they look like martini straws, but not everybody's diameter of the lymphatic tube is the same. Some people are born with 8-lane Atlanta highways, and some people are born with 1-lane detour roads. I didn't write the rule book. I don't know why. It's like Harvey Dent. One side I'll make it even. Where is Harvey Dent? Yeah, there's just not as much over here. You can see this side flows better. I mean, there's some, but the side that's moving will actually flow properly because it's moving too much, and so it's only the side that's stiff that has the congestion. There's usually one side that's tight, another side that's moving extra. I mean, I'm trying, but there's not as much over here. It's going to come out, but much more, I'm not happy with the left either, but relatively, this side's functioning. That's pretty much the extent of what's on his left side. And you can see just the contrast between the blocked up side. That's why that's why this happened. This was all, who knows? What were your single digit age activities? What were you doing at like 8, 9, 10 years old? Was it
Soccer.
soccer?
Yep.
Do you remember any type of, significant injury, or it's always every day is a significant injury?
Nothing in my back. Like, I played the sousaphone in high school,
Okay.
marching band.
Do you have to tilt a lot? Is your body tilted?
Well, it's like a 60-pound instrument wrapped around you.
Uh-huh.
So, and it rests on your shoulder, on your right shoulder.
Okay, so asymmetrical weight. Yeah, I'm just saying something blocked up your right side.
Yeah.
And that to me, the instrument can take something and make it worse, but there usually is a trauma at the core level. There's an injury, and then posture and life and habits feeds the monster. But the monster originally was born from an injury, like a collision. Anyway. Not the elbow. Round 2, I know. Oh, look at all that. Jeez. No wonder your scapula can't come back.
Like I said, it's like a spring. Like, no matter how hard I try.
Mm-hmm. This has all got to be moved. Yeah, there's some old stuff. See that right there, babe? Old stuff right in there. Right there. See, right there. Different shade. Right there underneath the scapula, right there. This is all blocked up over here. I gotta get that out of there.
Yeah, how do you feel in terms of just
It feels good.
any lesser pain in your area? Still same? Because he's gonna do more, but
Yeah. It's definitely less. I still feel the pain when I breathe.
okay.
Yeah, that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Kind of what I expected, huh?
Yeah. Honestly.
That's a lot of buildup
Yeah.
on that right side. All that's where it all drains. I want you to breathe. We're gonna stretch for a second. We're gonna come up. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
I breathe. I breathe. Exhale. A little bit this way. There we go. Nice. Very good. You okay?
Mhm.
That, I'm sure it was tough. Breathe. We're going down a little bit. Come on. There you go. Wow. You all right?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Put your arms back down. Exhale. Breathe. All right, there we go. Good. There we go. There we go. Okay. I think we got them pretty good there. On that last one at all. All these ribs kind of slid into place. There we go. Now the idea is after we loosen it all up, we want it to mold and cast in the right position. All right. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, tilt your head right for me a little bit. Tilt right. Oh, okay, all right. Now tilt right. Okay. Too much. Go ahead and tilt your head left. A little bit, okay. Don't yank my ear off. I need that. It's okay. Come with me, right over here. I'm trying to get right over that rib. Lay back on me. I got you right about. Let's try there. And head back for me. What do you think? Is that too much? Arms over your head. Come on. And then a little bit of a downward. Get the idea?
Yeah.
Like you let it slide down then. That feels lovely, Ed. You know, and that's what we want to do. We want to mold now and stretch. This is how you change your posture, is through stretching. All that adjustment work was to make your spine supple enough to be able to conform to the mold. And that's it. It's not more, I wish I could make it more complicated for you. That's it. Otherwise, if I could just change people through stretching without adjusting, I would just sell dental rolls and get on YouTube and, you know, but most lay people can't lay on what you're laying on, let alone even after being adjusted. But without being adjusted, it's like you're going to hurt yourself. But we got to get the chest in, and then that brings the head back, if that makes sense. So if you can see me right, so as the head goes forward, the chest goes, get the idea, back.
Right.
So you can't bring the head back if the chest stays posterior. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to push this in order to retract the head.
Mm-hmm.
So the first phase of your care is to unlock your chest, which, you know, created that lymphoma, you know, lumpectomy and all that. But the idea is that we have to get the chest in to retract the head. Even the symptoms down your arm are from your lower neck. If your hands go numb or tingly, put them down by the side or on your belly. You can take a break. But ideally, I want your arms up to bring your shoulders back and to give you more pressure on your back to get your chest to angle in. But don't feel like you have to go crazy. The first 10 times you do it, you can work your way up. But you also want to try to go for 20 minutes first, and then, you know, you get the idea, you know, and then that's where you ride the edge of your tolerance. Yeah, you got a little sore.
For sure.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's gonna feel better once you get that bruising out of there. Get the salt on it. Keep stretching. I might give you one of these to take home.
Appreciate
You did
that.
really well.
Thank
you.
you.
All right, appreciate it, bud.